Alright, so I've been looking into the classes of Kerrigan Survival, and it turns out there are a lot of unique secrets that they hold. Here's a tip that you could use for each of the classes. Aewyn's curse ability can allow his eco orbs to do a good amount of damage, and with the amount of buffs you can put on these orbs, this opens up the option for your eco to become heavy harassment units. The indicator for the conduit ability on Alarak's eco makes it look as though it can reach 2 structures away. It can actually reach 3 structures away, allowing for 3 lines of buildings on each cliff level, and 4 with the conduit range upgrade. Although Andor's rapid fire ability costs 25 energy at level 1, at level 2, 3 and 4 it costs 0 energy and can be spammed on cooldown. Ares can re-enter his units into a weapons archive and they'll come out to the rallied side. This can't change warhounds into siege tanks for example, but it can release stuck units. When a recalling mothership or mothership core dies, all the recalling units get cancelled and stay where they are. To counter this, try to use the furthest and healthiest mothership to recall. Void rifts can be quite vulnerable and prone to dying from random lings just as you're trying to get your destroyers out. If a ling is hitting your rift, make a few baby hybrids, they spawn almost instantly and will keep the rift safe while your stronger units get built. Brakk can cast abilities while Seismic Shock is channeling. This means you can activate your Seismic Shock and at the last second swap to surprise the enemy with an instant route. Champion can unload from the high ground to the low ground as long as he stands at the south wall of a cliff. And vice versa, he can load into the high ground, this time only loading into a northward cliff. Chew can enrage Tubies by jumping on them or pushing them with Meanie. If a Tubie is already enraged, trying to push it with Meanie will just make it push Chew instead. This can be used for a nice extra option for escapes. Critterlord's buildings have a lot of utility in themselves. His eco can grant a huge amount of vision, his upgrade structure, the Primal Warden, is incredibly tanky, and his Lava Crab spawner, although with 100 less life, is also very tanky and it can be salvaged, which makes a great wall for ecos, especially when you can also make crabs from them for further tanking. These guys kinda suck though, don't build them. If you use Shadow Cleave while in the Shadow Fury animation, the cleave will be used on the 5th hit of Fury before you return to the original location. Intelligence is a stat gained by heroes when they level, which results in increased spell damage. As Dehaka, you gain 2 intelligence per level compared to Kerrigan's 1. This means you can achieve much more with Dehaka's dash than you would expect to with Kerrigan. Experience is divided between all nearby leveling heroes. For Delta squads, sometimes it can be best to send certain heroes away to concentrate level gain on your more valuable heroes. When all a part of the show is applied to a unit for DJ, it grants them extra vision. Laser shows grant vision on all cliff levels, so when they're granted this buff, it can allow you the option to raz Zerg from lower cliff levels. When Elementalist crashes or exits his snowball on a wall south of him, he can exit to a lower cliff level. This can add an extra layer to your escape skills as ally. Energizer can gain energy and shields from allies, which can create a lot of interesting synergies. The Irradiate from Engineered Science Vessel can be cast on ally units to apply the damage to enemies that get close to them. Glevig has the innate ability to recall units back to him. With just a 10-second cooldown, this can be used heavily to save units and deny feed from enemy survivors. Did you know Moon can level and gain 4 shields and HP? Oh, and also Sun gets insanely powerful as it levels. His Purification Nova starts at 500 and gains an extra 30% each level. Energy Drain takes energy from the enemy based on their maximum energy. This starts out as a 40% drain and only gains 10% per level. If you're worried about energy based heroes but still want to commit to army clear and mobility, just put 1 point in and no more. Kraith's Spike Tide ability is thought of as a defensive tool. However, this ability can also be used in a way that forces the enemy to take damage from it even when they weren't intending to hit you by running into an area of affectability or attack. Mira can cast her Shade while Nuke is channeling or channel Nuke while her Shade is out. You can use this to get nukes out in a risky area with the safety of being pulled back to your Shade as the nuke lands. Niadra's Parasite can be used on flying units. This can be used on Overseers if your teammate builds them for you, as Niadra can't build Seers, or you can put them on Corruptors. And when you patrol these guys around the map, it gives you a great ability to find ecos. When it comes to Nightingale's movement, commanding a move in the opposite direction that he is currently moving will make him change directions without having to turn. Along with this, commanding a movement far away will retain most of Nightingale's current speed, and commanding a movement closer by will decelerate Nightingale. Pulling down units on the same cliff level when there is no room for them to land causes them to appear on the closest cliff of equal elevation. Well burrowed, Phaegore can use Balesnot to, among other things, remove the enemy hero's detection. If the enemy aren't paying close attention, this may allow you to burrow right underneath them and surprise them. The energy drain from Prophet's weapon while it's activated increases along with his attack upgrades. Stun Shot blocks the Zerg hero from being able to move through the stunned units. This can have great use for saving allies or eco. When armor goes into the negative in StarCraft, you start to do extra damage. Using Magellan's Shredder Missile, you can turn your high attack speed units into absolute monsters. Scion's Force Field also blocks the movement of allies, and this is incredibly important to remember as Swap is no longer your only tool to fuck over your teammates. Along with this, Eldar's Chrono ability can effectively be used infinitely on Champion's hero. To do this, you have Champion swap into a new unit to allow him to be chronoed again. Other than the basic probes, all of Selendis' probes can construct buildings. This means with a Nexus down, you can create ecos or warp-in locations with Selendis and Cerberus farm levels around the map. Hammer's Hellions cost 25 more minerals than the Hellbats, and this is consistent with morphing between the forms, so if you know that some Hellions are about to die, you can morph them and gain 25 minerals each. You likely know that Sjlerk's Vision Archives can be activated to do damage, but did you know how much damage they're capable of doing? These guys can do 78 damage per second, and when you can fit so many of these buildings in a concentrated area, you can start doing some insane damage. Spirit's Ancient Relic has a chance to either kill you or create an additional hero. It takes 21 infested pools, 38 infested dens, 46 Ravager pits, and 55 aberration caverns to get the lowest possible cooldown charge of their respective units for both Stukov and Naptals. Swann's predators are only cloaked when he has at least one turret or drill on the map. If you're having trouble ending the game because a Swann is running around hiding, take out his turrets and he'll be revealed. As Team Nova, there are some situations where the Zerg get the jump on you and you don't have the time to recall. If you start running and get to a location where you can use the terrain to reduce your surface area, you may increase your likelihood of making it out alive. A lot of people think about Technician for his late game, but have trouble getting there. Tech has a lot of strong early and mid game options, and utilizing them can help allow you to get to your late game. A good example of this is using his powerful walling and healing options to keep his eco and his allies' ecos safe in the mid game and a base. Thakras has the innate ability Consume, which takes a friendly unit's life and converts it into energy. Use this often on Zerglings to allow for constant scanning on cooldown to light up the entire map. Warden's Vex armor gives a flat shield bonus to all allies. This can be used to synergize with cheap, low HP units that get spawned in large amounts to make it very difficult to kill a swarm of units. Warfield's hero gains passive mineral income. This starts out as plus 10 and gains plus 5 minerals per level. Along with Warfield's heavy gas costs, this makes it very valuable to farm levels. Zagara's creep teleport ability obviously allows her to teleport to creep, however unlike Glevig, who can also teleport to creep, Zagara can do so without requiring vision. So hopefully there was something that you learned in this video. If not, let me know in the comments and I can call you a liar, because let's be honest, like no one knew that enraged tubies could push Chew. Oh, and also I'm going to be working on a beginner's guide, so if you have some suggestions for things that you think could help new players, or if you are a new player and you have some ideas, please let me know. Thanks for watching.